Their last
Jesus.
defeat against Brest was in January 1985 in Ligue 1. You know what has happened since Brest has lost against ever since the last time Brest won against PSG? Chernobyl.
Welcome to episode 26 of the CoDaKrew podcast. Today we're doing a very special episode and we're making predictions for the first knockout stage of the Champions League. Now we're going to be following the same format as our regular match predictions, where Kaibo and I get 1 point for correctly predicting the match, win, loss, or draw. Or in this case, it would be a two-legged match, and there would be no draws because this is the Champions League after all. We also have multiplier rules. They are on screen now. They will apply the same way they do in our regular episodes. And because we are using the regular rules of our Premier League match day predictions, our scores at the end of this round will be added to our Premier League scores. Anything else you want to add, Kaibo?
Yeah, I do want to say that since this is the UCL, there are two legs. So, for example, our first match day, for example, we're going to be looking at Brest versus PSG. So, the first team that we say, Brest, they're going to be at home for the first leg. So, just remember that there are two legs to this competition, and it's just not a one-off match. Anyways, we should probably get started.
All right, I think Kaibo introduced the first match for us. Brest versus PSG. Now, Brest, they've been playing pretty well in the Champions League,
Yeah, man.
and they have a very strong front two that work off of each other pretty well.
Yeah,
But they will be
absolutely.
the underdog against PSG.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
In fact,
believe, yeah, for sure. I mean, do you
or
want to go ahead
can I
and?
riff off of what Corey was saying? Because I just want to
Yeah.
mention, actually, Brest did start the Champions League playing a front three, but eventually opted for the two strong ones at the front, as Corey was talking about. However, I do want to mention, although they do have those two strong attacking strikers, the issue for me is that both Ajork and Balde, those two strikers, actually haven't scored a single goal in the entire Champions League group stage. And while playing like as a holding attacker, attacking central attacker, letting the midfield and the wings apply more of the pressure, that's fine, but you need to have a killer instinct if you want to go far in the knockout stage of the Champions League. And not only do Brest have basically no experience of that, but they're also going to have to deal with, who's going to be the one scoring the goals. Like, I'm sorry, but your fullbacks are not going to score like 3 or 4 goals, however many you need to beat PSG in a two-legged tie. You're going to have to rely on the strikers, and I don't trust it.
All right.
Man, okay. I mean, I have the exact same analysis as you, but I feel like you're being a little too nice. I'm gonna absolutely tear Brest apart right here. Okay,
Oh
Really?
in
boy.
4K. Right. Number one, PSG are unbeaten in their last 30 matches against Brest. They have 22 wins and 8 draws. Their last
Jesus.
defeat against Brest was in January 1985 in Ligue 1. You know what has happened since Brest has lost against ever since the last time Brest won against PSG? Chernobyl, the fall of the Berlin Wall, the internet. Practically half of the modern inventions that you can currently think about have been invented after after the last time Brest beat PSG. Secondly,
Hi, but you're forgetting about one major event.
yes, what is it?
Well, I was gonna say 9/11 because of
I mean,
because I was thinking
Oh,
in pairs. However, I think you're
okay.
really discounting the effect of a major event in recent world history, the invention of Skibbity toilet.
yes, that's the one that we have to talk about.
Oh
None of
shoot.
that matters. The only thing that matters is Skibbity toilet.
That is true. Anyways, my second point. Wait, when has Skibbity Toilet when was that invented? If someone can look that up, would
I think
appreciate it.
like 2020, late 2023, right?
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well, I mean, maybe that's when it
Imagine
got
the last
popular.
time Brest beat PSG, that was in the pre-Brainrot era.
Okay.
yeah,
Well, I
which
don't
is
know.
like a long time ago.
All
No,
right.
it's
Anyways, my second point. Brest have completed only 72% of their passes under high intensity pressure. And that's the second lowest of all teams across the league phase, and it's only ahead of one team, Sparta Prague, who only completed 70.1%. So they're the second worst team passing under high intensity pressure. But guess what? PSG are one of the teams that have the most high intensity pressure moments. Right? They're the fourth highest, and the only teams higher than them are Bayern, Arsenal, and the best team in the world, Liverpool. Okay, so the Brest are literally going against. I mean, their worst possible I mean, not worst possible matchup, but like one of the worst possible matchups they could have. Okay, this is an easy PSG win. Brest will not be enough here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I fully
Brest.
agree with you. I also want to point out, by the way, um, I mean, they started out pretty strong, but only 1 point in their last 4 Champions League matches. And
Yeah,
like, while they don't really, I don't see where the goal is coming from them. For example, I think Ousmane Dembele, right? He is on great form. He is the leading goal scorer in Ligue 1, 4 goals in the Champions League, and they also have Kvaratskhelia coming in. I think they have the overwhelming attack that unless Brest are able to score a lot of goals on their own, they have no chance of winning this tie.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. I guess
Um,
like this is where Brest's storybook Champions League season might come to an end.
yeah, unfortunately, man. But I do want to touch
Unfortunate.
upon that Ousmane Dembele point. I mean, I saw this infographic. I'll put it on the screen right now. But Ousmane Dembele, man, he has been leading 2025 by a long shot. He has 11 goals in 6 games.
Wait,
Okay,
that's actually crazy.
and
Damn.
yes, and I think this tweet is honestly. Oh no, no. I mean, it's as of February 3rd, 2025, so it could be even more, right? And two players that are tied for second right now, Lautaro Martinez with 8 goals and Kylian Mbappe. But the thing is that they have both played 3 and 4 games more than Dembele, respectfully. So man, I don't know, man. This guy potentially future Ballon d'Or. I'm joking. I'm joking. That's Mo Salah.
Hey, I don't know. All right. Anyways, I think we get the point here. Shall we move on?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
All
All right.
right. This one is the big one. Man City versus Real Madrid.
Wow, 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 wow. I mean, you got bad defense against worse defense. You got Erling Haaland versus Kylian Mbappe. Pep Guardiola versus Carlo Ancelotti.
Ooh, so
Okay.
this seems like quite a matchup we have here.
Yes, man. I
This
mean,
feels
I
like the
believe
finals, but
Vinicius.
it's technically
Yeah,
the round of 32.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But again, I mean, I believe Vinicius Junior is going to be out. Is that true? I'm not too. I'm assuming he's out. But one interesting stat I did find is that KDB has 4 goals and 4 assists against Real Madrid, which is the most ever in this fixture, which is really interesting to think about because I mean KDB always shows up against Madrid, but I mean the first player that you think about when you think of City versus Madrid is Vinicius. I don't think
Yeah.
KDB is the first player that comes to people's mind, yet he has 8 goal involvements. So super underrated. But I do have Real Madrid winning this, okay? They are the 15-time champions for a reason, perennial winners. And there is one hot take I have about this game, but it's not about the result itself. Okay. Kylian Mbappe has been Perez's almost like golden child, right, for multiple years. Despite, and I mean,
Mhm.
he's spent so long trying to get Mbappe on this Madrid team. Okay. I mean, can you think of any other player that can reject Madrid, put it off for multiple years, and Perez would still want to sign him, right? I mean, I can't think of any players in the world other than Mbappe that he would do that for. Okay,
That's true, yeah.
and I believe that
Mhm.
this is the game where Mbappe shows up. This is the game where Perez, in his head, he has that mental switch where he chooses Mbappe over Vinicius as his golden child. That is
Ooh.
my take. That is my take. Okay, that is where that
Okay.
mental block
All right.
in his head switches. And I mean, again, I know we talked about this before, but I mean, the Luka Doncic trade, right? I mean, sorry, that's still unbelievable,
You're
right?
milking this.
If let me just say, dude, Mbappe, Vinicius, they play in the exact same position. They almost contradict each other. Let me, if some team comes knocking on the door, I'm sure Madrid would be open to it. If they offer like, who knows, man, some crazy amount of money, maybe. Okay, he probably won't leave because I mean, I'm sure Vinny wouldn't want to leave. But I mean, I'm just saying, dude, this is the game where everything changes.
All right.
For me,
Wow.
like it's zoom out, just even away from any particular player. This is the history of Real Madrid. They have won this. They've won this competition 15 times, most in any team. They like Real Madrid. In all honesty, they practically own this tournament. And even when they don't win, the most recent times they were knocked out and didn't win this tournament, it was Man City who ended up winning and Chelsea who also ended up winning. So you really have to be a powerhouse in your prime playing amazing football if you want to knock these guys out. And Man City, they just simply aren't doing that right now. I mean, they
Mhm.
barely even qualified for this round of the Champions League. They almost didn't qualify halfway into that match against Club Brugge. They were down 1-0, right? But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's just like I know Real are shaky, but whenever it's Champions League time, it doesn't matter. I feel like we've seen this story so many times before where people are like, "Ooh, Madrid are shaky this year." I don't think that they have it in them. But then when it's time for the Champions League, it doesn't matter. If it's Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, whoever it is, there's always someone who just steps up for them. And I think Real Madrid are going to win this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, adding on to your point before, you have to be at that crazy high level to beat Real Madrid. Okay, and I would say arguably, Arsenal are not at that level. Let's be for real, but they're pretty damn close to it. And I mean, dude, they just lost 5-1 against Arsenal City.
5-1 against a
So
team with no good striker, by the way.
yes,
And then you're gonna and now you're about to it's about to be from that Kai Havertz to Kylian Mbappe.
yes, and they
Yeah.
have. And by the way, Bukayo Saka was out in that game too. Okay, so I mean, if you cannot even, I mean, compete against Arsenal, I mean, how are you going to compete with Madrid? I don't know, especially in the Bernabeu too. I don't know, man. I mean,
Mhm.
currently the first leg is going to be in Etihad, and I mean, honestly, I think this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to be like a tie. It's going to be like 1-1, 2-2 first
Oh,
leg.
dang. That's
But Madrid,
crazy.
yeah, but when they go in the Bernabeu, they're going to get killed.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's gonna be role reversal from a few years ago when it was very
Yeah,
close in the Bernabeu and then City killed them on the Etihad ground.
yeah,
This
yeah,
feels like
Wait.
absolutely.
it's
Reverse.
revenge time, you know?
So this
I,
is
I
not gonna be
mean,
a close match.
uh, the first leg is going to be very close. It's going to be a tie for sure.
I don't
But
think
the
on
second
aggregate it'll
leg,
be close,
I don't know.
personally.
Hmm. Interesting. I don't
Okay,
know.
so you think
We'll
it's
see.
gonna be absolute domination for Real Madrid?
Exactly. I just don't see what City have going for them. Even like with the new signings, which I know, Kaibo has talked about a bit before, but even that's gonna take a bit of time. They're not gonna like, Marmoush, he's not gonna be at his best he's not gonna be at his best within a month of joining this club, playing the Champions League against Real Madrid. It's just such a big ask, and they're just not on good form this year. It is not City's year.
Hmm. That's fair.
Dang. Like in any other year, this probably would be a matchup much further in to this tournament.
Yeah,
But
for
I
sure,
guess
man.
the way
Yeah,
it
I mean,
is.
yeah, I mean, I've been saying this before, but they do have to change this format. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, man. I mean, you can be like high up in the table and you're playing against, and like for example, like you're matching up against City and Madrid.
I mean,
Like
it makes
those are
sense
your
though,
I
top
because
two.
mean,
it does
yeah,
make sense to
FIFA.
be fair, because it is a kind of down bad Madrid and a very down bad City.
Hmm.
So I mean, I'm not. It's not that surprising. It's kind of like
uh,
I don't
I
know
mean,
what
like,
would be a great description, but it's kind of like a few years ago in the NBA when like the Nets were like when the Nets had that big three, but they were seventh seeded in uh in the Eastern Conference,
Yeah,
and like their first
uh,
round matchup is like I don't remember who it was. It was like Boston or whoever. Well, yeah, you can call it unfair, but when the team's not playing well, they're gonna have to play one of the best teams in the league. Like that's you just
yeah,
gotta deal
well,
with
yeah.
it.
that's fair. Yeah, for sure.
All right then. Let's go on.
Yeah, for sure.
Sporting versus Dortmund.
Man, okay. I mean, Sporting haven't won any games in Europe under the new manager Rui Borges. Okay, I mean, Borussia Dortmund have the best win rate, which they have won 64% of their games against Portugal teams, and that's the most out of any other nation that they faced more than 10 times. And also, I mean,
Ooh,
only
okay.
Barcelona have scored more goals than Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League so far. I mean, this to me looks like an absolute killing, dude. I mean, not an like. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to be close. I mean, I understand. I mean, Sporting have been doing decent in the league and whatnot, but dude, I mean, it's Dortmund. It's the yellow wall. I don't see them holding up here.
Let me just say that duality of league vs like domestic league vs Champions League is very fascinating for me. I think over the past few years, Dortmund has really cemented themselves as a Champions League forward team, not a
Mhm.
Bundesliga forward team. I think they placed higher in the Champions League table than they currently are in the Bundesliga table. Serge Guirassy leading the Champions League with 9 goals in 8 games. In the entire Bundesliga, he only has 9 goals. I mean, it doesn't even make any sense. how Dortmund are so bad in the Bundesliga yet so good in the Champions League.
Man, they
But
just
Yeah.
turn it up.
when you consider that, you consider Sporting, like you said, ever since Amarin left, they have to adapt to a new system which they haven't fully done yet. I mean, I feel like if this was like a friendly, not a Champions League important fixture, I would actually go with Sporting. But because of just how good Dortmund are in Europe as of recent, I have to give this to Dortmund.
Yeah, for sure, man. And just your point about why Borussia Dortmund are so good. I feel like this is really similar to like a speech I saw Arsene Wenger say, where he was kind of talking about why Liverpool is so good in Europe, and it's because of Anfield. And I think the exact same thing applies for Dortmund, right? It's because of the yellow wall. That's why they do
That's a
so well
great
in
point. They
Europe.
have one of the best fan bases in all of Europe.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I do like teams that have great fan bases generally do well in Europe. I mean, Madrid has become more of like a commercial product now, but during those European nights, amazing fans, right? I
Yeah.
think that applies to every single top European team. All right.
All
Um,
right.
yeah,
Wait, I have a question though.
yeah,
If
go ahead.
Amarim never left Sporting and he was coaching, would it make any difference here?
Absolutely. I'm so
Yeah, for sure. I'm not
I
sure.
think Sporting would win.
I'm not so sure I would change my result because, like I was saying before, Dortmund are just that good in the Champions League. But it definitely makes this tie much closer.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I
Well,
mean, weren't Sporting like top, like they were top, like they were near the top of the Champions League before Emery left.
Yeah,
They were doing well, so that changes a lot, to be honest with you. Yeah,
yeah. All right then. Shall we move on?
yeah, absolutely, man.
Okay, we're going on to Juventus versus PSV.
Wow, wow, wow.
Uh,
Okay, I have a hot take here. I mean, I don't know if it's a
I
hot
feel
take
like here's the
necessarily.
thing, Kaibo. This was a very
Yeah,
hard prediction for me. I think either take
yes,
is a hot take. That's
that
how
is
I see it.
true.
uh-huh.
Yeah. I have PSV winning here. Okay. I know PSV has lost 3 of the last 4 away matches, but as long as PSV can maintain a 1 goal difference, they can win at home. Okay. And PSV have one of the best young teams in the world right now. They have some amazing, amazing prospects, right? I mean, you have Malik Tillman, right, who again has so many chances created. In fact, of the players that have played 450 plus minutes in the UCL, only Jamal Musiala has created more chances than Malik Tillman per 90. Musiala has created 3.9, Tillman has created 3.5. They also have, let's say, one of the best defender prospects in all of Europe, right? Olivier Cogli. This guy is amazing, right? He should be playing on City right now. He is Pep's perfect center back. Let me just say. I mean, he's made 125 line-breaking passes in the UCL, and that's the second most for any defender after Nico Schlotterbeck. Okay, amazing young team, exciting. First in the Dutch league, Juventus. Sure, I mean they were on track to being going invincible in the Serie A, but a lot of the draws have been quite questionable. Let's be for real,
Oh
okay?
yeah.
And Juventus team has really been, I don't know, I have not been very confident in them, and for that reason, I have to give it to PSV.
I do see this, but I just hear the story, right? And I just think how many times have we seen a young team? They look good, playing very strong in the domestic league. They start very well in the Champions League, but when it comes to the knockout games, they just don't have that je ne sais quoi. And when we talk about PSV, I actually have a very similar complaint to them that I do with Brest, and that is I think their top goal scorer in the Champions League only has scored 2 goals. They don't have a consistent finisher. For example, like as you were talking about, Malik Tillman, he's been very good. He's shown flashes of absolute brilliance. I fully agree with you on that. But there's a reason why he hasn't made a bigger name for himself yet. He hasn't shown, in my opinion, that he is a clutch player. There's a reason Ishmael Koney continues to lock him up when USA plays Canada, for example. I'm just saying, right? So
Right.
you know, look at Juventus. Yes, questionable in Serie A, and a lot of draws that have maybe not been so deserved. But it's that ability to play scrappy that I think gives Juventus that little bit of an edge. And also consider the fact that they have Dusan Vlahovic, who has already scored 4 goals in the Champions League.
Yes, that's fair. I mean, honestly, this game could go either way. Looking at our next few predictions, I'm sort of debating with myself, should I put a multiplier on this? Because it really could go either way. Um,
Uh-huh.
Honestly, I think I do play it safe. I'm gonna place a ×2 multiplier on this match.
I'm gonna go a
Okay.
bit more risky because I'm not so sure that we will have more disagreements. I'm gonna go for ×3.
Wow. Okay. All
All right.
right. Sounds good, man.
All right. All right. Good to know we're putting in the multipliers.
Actually, you know what?
You upgrading it?
Wait, I'm like, I'm looking at my next predictions. I'm very confident in my predictions, actually. Like, I really don't see it swinging either way. Like, if you want me to be honest with you. So I'm gonna put a ×6.
Mhm.
I genuinely don't. That might be a
Whoa,
risk, man. You know what?
whoa.
You know
Okay.
what? No. You know what? Like, I'm looking at the next ones. Like, I have belief in some of these teams. I genuinely have belief. Like, it's not just like, sure, it looks close on paper or whatnot, but like, I don't know why. There's something in my head that's just like telling me put a ×6. You know, I genuinely
Okay.
have a lot of belief in a lot of the teams in the next match days. So I'm putting a ×6 on this one. I don't care. I'm going all in. Juventus
All in.
AC.
Okay. This is.
Also, I do feel like this game is so close. Like this game could really go either way.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
oh yeah, you know what? Screw it. ×6.
I know you're really urging for times for big multiplier numbers to help you get back in,
Yeah,
but the way I see it, there are two matches I'm looking at, or I should say two legs I'm looking at, where I think
yeah,
we might still disagree. So
yeah,
I'm
for
going to
sure.
play maybe the risky, maybe the safe route. I don't even really know, and just stick to
Okay.
a ×3.
All right, sure. I mean, I absolutely
All right.
agree with you. There are a few matchups that are very close, but I'm just so confident in my picks. I don't even care if you
Okay.
have. I'm just not even gonna, use a multiplier there. So,
All
yeah.
right.
All
Okay.
right. Well, honestly, if you are so confident in them, you could have put multipliers on those ones in your own predictions.
No. Like I don't. I don't know honestly, because the thing is that these
You-
can go either way. I'm just flipping a coin, okay? And I don't really know what Darren's gonna pick, but I don't know, man. I'm just too confident. I don't even care. I don't want the
Oh, you're
multiplier.
confident in this prediction.
I'm
He's confident
confident.
Juventus are not going to go through.
Yeah, but I'm also confident in my next match day predictions.
Well,
So
if you're you should put multipliers on the predictions that you're confident in.
sure, but number one, my confidence hasn't been the best indicator of success. Let's be for real.
Okay.
And
All right.
secondly, it's okay. Like I just,
You see, this one is
I
yours.
like volatile score lines. Okay, if I get a ×6 and it hits, I'm back in the game. Okay,
All
so
right.
that's okay. I do need to make some moves. Okay, so that is a justification for my logic here.
All right. All right. Let's go on then. We go on to Atalanta versus Club Brugge. Is that how you pronounce
Yes,
it?
Club
Club
Bruges.
Brugge, where
Yes.
Okay.
in fact Jonathan David started his European career. Just want to put that out there.
Yes, man.
Yes.
And I mean, there have been
And
a
also
lot
where
of teams
Tajon
interested.
Buchanan started his European career as well. A lot of Canadians coming out of Club Brugge.
Yeah.
Mm,
It seems like
yeah,
a good development for Canadians. Good club for development.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, sure, they can develop Canadians or all that, but that's not going to save them from Atalanta. Okay, I
Yeah,
mean, Club Brugge
fully
have
agree.
no wins in their last 5 matches. Sure, they look good, somewhat high up in the Belgium league, but I mean, dude, just recently they have not been looking amazing.
I mean, they're
Atalanta are,
literally the last seed still in the tournament. By the way, 24th. They're
yeah,
barely even here.
yeah, I know. I mean, Atalanta are competing for the Serie A title. I mean, Inter are starting to run away with it, but I mean, they've been competing for it for, I mean, a good half of the season. They've been looking amazing. I see Lookman scoring 2 goals in this matchup. Atalanta, easy prediction for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. Lookman, bro. You know, there was a lot of talk about how he was a one season wonder, but I think he's gonna be here for the long run, and he's one of those players. I mean, we saw it with that hat trick in the Europa League finals, but he is a clutch player, and that's gonna make a huge difference in the knockout round. Obviously, they are the favorites over Club Brugge. Definitely have more talent, but listen, I mean, if you aren't firing on all cylinders on that one day, anything could happen. But when you have Lookman on your squad, I mean, it's a sense of security. It's a sense of confidence to have an Atalanta because of that. When you look at Club Brugge, right? They have 3 wins in the Champions League, but none of them have been convincing. All of those wins were only by 1 goal, and in many of them, I would argue that they didn't even have the better chances.
hmm Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely, man. I do want to say something though. I do not feel like Lookman should go to a big club. I do feel like he is a small, clutch, loyal, smaller club player type of player. I don't
And I
see
mean,
him succeeding
Atalanta
at
isn't even
Leicester.
that small of a club. They've been on the rise for the past few years.
No, absolutely, they're not that small. I mean, they won a European trophy before Arsenal. So
Okay.
you
Okay.
know, they're a pretty damn big club if you wanted to use that definition. But I mean, I just don't think that he should make a move at all, and I don't think any teams are really asking for him like that. But again, that's just something I wanted to add in. Yeah,
All right. Is that what we have for this one?
yeah, that's all I got, man.
All right. Celtic, Bayern.
I mean, no discussion, man. Celtic. No, I'm joking. Bayern, easy. Uh, but Bayern play amazing against, let's say, worse teams. I mean, dude, have you guys seen those infographics of like Bayern's biggest victories, and it's just like 27-0, 32-0.
Well,
Like this.
that's because that's for whatever reason they always play friendlies before the start of the season against like seventh division German clubs for like
No, I
charity or
know.
whatever.
Yeah, for sure, I know. But I'm
And I
just
mean,
saying,
that's
like this.
basically what
It's
this is. No.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yo,
that was
don't
kind of my
disrespect
logic.
Celtic like that.
Okay, that is true. That is true. But I mean, I don't see this being a close game whatsoever. I don't, man, I don't know. I mean, are Bayern even going to play their starting 11 in the second leg? Who knows? I think this is an easy win for Bayern.
Yeah, I fully agree. I mean, honestly, the one thing I had to point out here is that I'm actually happy for Celtic. I don't. I remember thinking at the start of the Champions League, oh, now there's 24 teams. Now Celtic might actually have a chance maybe to the knockout stage, and they have. So good for them. This is a successful campaign for them already. No, they absolutely should not be expected to go any further, regardless of who their matchup is.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, then. Let's go on to one that maybe is more interesting. Feyenoord versus Milan. AC Milan, by the way.
Man, okay. This is going to be a very, very close matchup. Closer than what a lot of people think, I believe. I mean, I don't believe Feyenoord are getting their praise. Milan haven't won any of their last 11 away UCL games. And but again, this is a two-legged matchup. Okay, I do believe Milan will still win this matchup. I mean, again, Feyenoord have conceded the most goals, 21 goals, out of the 24 teams to progress through the UCL. So if Milan is able to hold on in the first leg, I do believe they can close it out in the second leg. And for that
I
reason,
fully
I
agree.
have to give this to AC Milan.
I fully agree with you both fronts. Both that Feyenoord have been underestimated, uh, in general over the past 3 years. I mean, I think this year they're not doing so good in the Eredivisie, but they've definitely, like in general, have been improving over the past few years. But
Yeah,
for me, I'm looking at current form, right? Feyenoord are on 3 straight losses, and while Milan, I know their form isn't the best, they are, in my opinion, still just a more talented team. They have more experience on the big stage, so I agree with you. I'm gonna have Milan winning, based on the crucial second leg.
absolutely, man. Yes. And also, are there new signings registered? Like, for example, Kyle Walker, I know have Joao Felix now, too.
Yes.
Are they registered for the Champions League? I mean, I feel like they could definitely make a difference in this match. So that would be very exciting to watch. I'm not gonna lie,
Um.
but
Okay.
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. I know they've definitely played league games.
Yeah, I know, but Champions League registration and league registration is different. I know a lot of cities' new signings couldn't play against Club Brugge, for example, right?
Well,
So
you know what
yeah,
this means?
we'll
This
see though.
means if we don't disagree on this last matchup, I'm a little bit cooked with multipliers.
You know, this last matchup, it's very close,
Yes.
and right. I mean, I guess we should probably introduce it right now since we're
Uh-huh.
talking about it anyways. It's Monaco versus Benfica, by the way. First
They're
leg at Monaco.
they,
But again, this is a very, very close matchup. But I'm very, very confident about my pick. I have Benfica winning.
all right. Okay.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I have AS Monaco making it through, which means I get to put my remaining times 2 multiplier on you, and
Okay,
I at least
and
have a
I want to
chance.
make sure that you are aware that that's the biggest mistake of your life. Okay.
Really? Because this one
We'll
is
First of
see.
really a
all,
toss up.
no. It looks like a toss up. Trust me, it's not. Okay. Benfica and Monaco have played before. Benfica won 3-2, and they beat an 8-4 Monaco side, which, by the way, previously they had 12 wins, 3 draws, and 2 losses. Absolutely amazing. At this point in the year, they look like they were going to win the league, right? Ligue 1. right? I mean, it looks like they were absolutely amazing. Now Monaco's form has really fell off. Okay, and again we have Benfica. They just beat Juventus 2-0, and they should have beat Barcelona. I'm sorry, that game was rigged. Look at the calls. Some of them are absolutely outrageous. They should have beat Barcelona. The best
Yeah, I
Barcelona
can't
team.
even lie about that one.
The best Barcelona team we've seen in multiple years, probably the last 5 years. Okay, and this Benfica team has been competing with the highest level of teams. Monaco has only gotten worse. This is a very clear trend to me. I have Benfica winning this one.
I do see a lot of your logic, but I think the one thing that you're really underestimating is that Monaco are just objectively a Champions League team. For me, when you look at the structure of the two teams, Monaco doesn't always qualify for the Champions League, right? But when they do, they always bring a strong punch. They're always very good, especially on the counterattack. And when I look at Benfica's weaknesses, for me, it's their defensive line. So I'm playing the matchups here, and I feel, given that Monaco, whenever they're in the Champions League, they always seem to upset like one of the stronger teams. Like I'm thinking, like for example, that iconic upset against Man City a couple years ago, or I guess more than a couple years ago now. But
Yeah.
you get my point. I think I'm just gonna play the matchup, and when on paper these teams are very even, and yes, Benfica may have beaten them before. However, when it's knockout football, it's just different, and I would say Monaco are a different beast when it comes to knockout football, while Benfica, don't want to disrespect on them, but even when we think about clubs in Portugal, Benfica is not exactly the first team I think of when I think of Portuguese European football.
I mean, okay, sure. I guess so. I mean, who do you think of Porto?
Yeah, I'm thinking Porto and Sporting, I would say, both have more recent European history than Benfica.
That's
Alright.
fair. I mean, but
Yeah.
again, we're looking at right now. So I don't know
Of
if you can
course,
really
but I'm
say
just
that
saying the
too.
experience is a big factor.
Eh, I suppose so. Yes, I guess so. Yeah. Again, we'll see, man. We'll see. But this is going to
Alright.
be a very close matchup. Very excited for this.
Yes, this one will be one
I
of the
I
ones.
feel like this is going to be the most exciting match behind City Madrid. Actually, you know what? This
Yes,
could be
I
more
agree with
exciting than
you
City
actually.
Madrid.
I
This could be
think
more exciting,
everyone's
actually.
all the eyeballs will be on City Madrid, but the
Yes.
sleepers, the real fans, Monaco vs Benfica is where it's at.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, I believe this first leg's going to be very boring. I believe the second leg's where all the action's actually going to be. So if we're talking purely first legs right now, Monaco Benfica, that is the game to watch. Okay. Yeah. So I'll definitely be tuning in. Very excited for that one.
Alright. Alright. That's all the matches we have for today. Any other
Yes.
comments?
Honestly, not too much, man. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on the UCL format? Like, honestly, I have enjoyed the league phase. I do believe that, a lot of these big teams had to win on the last match day, right? I mean, I believe every single match week was very entertaining. We saw big matchups early on, right? We didn't have repeats of the same game. Like, I genuinely think this league version is a step in the right direction. But I've seen this sort of thrown around online. I do believe that a lot of these matchups should be chosen, right? So the teams that's in first place should have first dibs to choose whatever team they want to play. I do believe that's going to make it a lot more competitive, a lot more exciting, right? Imagine Real Madrid call out Barcelona. That would be absolutely amazing, right? And imagine if a team like first place Liverpool call out, I don't know, let's just say Club Brugge, for example, right? As a lower table team, you have a grudge against Liverpool, right? Because they called you out first. They're basically calling you the worst team, right? So I I think that idea of calling out whoever you want to play is something that UEFA should definitely experiment with. But
Yo,
again, I don't
Kaibo,
know.
do you
What do
think
you
if
guys
Liverpool called out Celtic, Scotland would declare independence and fight a civil war?
think?
Me personally, I could definitely see that happening.
You see that
No, yeah,
happening?
yeah. That is true. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that is something interesting to think about, though. I mean, political tension and whether or not people would call out teams like that. It's interesting, but we'll see. We'll see. That's exciting. Yeah.
I'm actually a really big fan of that format as well because I feel like that incentivizes teams to continue trying, I guess. like even near the end. And for example, Liverpool is not really the best example because Liverpool knew they were going to be first, and that's why they didn't play their starting lineup against PSV. But say you're like, I don't know, say you're like a team that's currently second in the Champions League, and you already know you're going to instant qualify. But then when we have this format in, you still want to play a last game. Seeding matters a lot more because now you actually get to choose the weakest team, or perhaps if you want to smoke, choose a stronger team, right? So I
Yeah.
think that would actually like the main complaint about the league for me that I've heard is that, oh well, some teams already know they're eliminated or qualified, but adding that eliminates that and makes every match day exciting.
Absolutely, man. Agreed. Yeah. I mean, you know, I
It's like
love
a
to watch.
draft.
Yes, like a draft. Exactly, man. I mean, look, watching Liverpool U21, which, by the way, should have tied PSV. Watch the game, okay? The ref blocked our shot. Like, dude, come on. Liverpool U21s almost drew against PSV. Okay, it was very
Okay, to be
entertaining, I
fair, they
gotta
didn't
say.
play their best team either. All right, like, come on.
Okay, but dude, come on. Like, our team was arguably, you know,
I'm just saying, like
we had a lot less
that's a wash,
experience.
bro. That game means nothing.
Okay, no, it does. But I mean, hey, look, watching Chiesa play, watching a lot of the young players play, it was exciting. Okay, yeah,
Oh,
but hey,
actually, I just
yes.
remembered there is one other thing I want to mention. There's one other statistic that I would just like for you to know. Now, when I say this, I should clarify. When I say this, I'm only including Europa and Champions League because the Conference League league stage has not ended yet. They actually still have two more games to play in the league stage. But out of the completed league stages, the Champions League and the Europa League, there was only one team that went defeated: Manchester United.
Oh dang.
Not even kidding. That's actually real.
Wow. Okay. I mean, hey, didn't Eric Ten Hag say that in an interview? He was like, "We didn't lose, we drew." And he was kind of
Yeah.
using that to justify him, getting his job. I'll find the clip. I'll put editor put it on here right now. But
Yep.
honestly, that's just so funny to me. That really
Uh-huh.
reminds me of like Juventus in Serie A, right? I mean, they were
Wilson.
practically
Yeah.
invincible.
Yeah.
Even though they were a very, very questionable team. Yeah.
Okay, but like Juventus is actually way on a different level because Man United at least they got 5 wins, 3 draws in the Europa League.
Yeah.
But going 9-13 is
Yeah.
different, bro.
That is fair, but also competition, right? I mean, Manchester United, you've spent $1 billion. I mean, you should be based on money alone, you should be winning the Europa
Manchester,
League.
yes, and Manchester United should not be 13th in the Premier League.
Yeah, based off money alone. I mean, if you look at the
Yeah,
lineup, arguably they should be
yeah.
actually.
Well, yeah.
That's something you can definitely disagree or agree with.
Yeah. How do you spend that much money
Yeah,
just to get here?
I don't know, man. Okay, do we have any other thoughts, or do you guys want to end the episode here?
That was my One Piece.
Yeah. All right, Corey. What about you?
I think that's it.
All right, perfect. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for listening to this UCL predictions episode. We will be releasing a round of 16 and be doing like a bracket challenge almost, similar to our NFL video a few weeks back. So stay tuned for that. If you guys have any suggestions on what other content you guys want from us, I know we did get a comment saying that you guys wanted us to rate transfer windows, which we'll definitely look into. We'll see if we have time to record something like that. But it would be exciting to do that. But again, make sure to like the video. Please subscribe. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a day, guys. Peace.
See you
See ya.
guys.